Welcome to the Numerology and the Astrology for June 26th, 2020. If you add all those numbers together, you get the number 18, and if you add the 1 and the 8 together, you get the number 9. So I like to think of the number 9 as the number of intuition and psychic ability, mysticism and magic, but it is also the number of the completion of karma. It's related to the cycles of life, life and death and rebirth. And you have to learn to listen to those intuitive moments because those cycles can come around when you least expect them. So because this number is associated with the processing of karma, let's talk about it for a second. The karma that we came in to learn and experience has a very high cost, and that cost is paid in energy, time, effort, and the risk that if you fail to learn the lessons that karma dictates, you are trapped in a repeating cycle of energy until you do. Completion is about those lessons in life that are requiring you to learn. Resisting learning any lesson that is presented becomes clear because the universe literally says to you, okay, so you did not get that message. Let's try this another way. And life will continue doing that until you begin to see that something is repeating. Once you have that awareness, then you can potentially begin to make necessary shifts to alter your karma by changing your actions. Once you understand the lesson and why you keep getting the lesson, then you move past the reactive places of karmic suffering and into the clarity, calmness, and awareness that signals karmic completion. The astrology today. The moon is in Virgo, and it stabilizes things, including yourself, that are out of balance and unstable. Sometimes this means to take a pause, mentally, emotionally, and physically. There is a fear that is happening right now, a fear of really just being still. A fear of what will come up in your psyche if you stop distracting yourself with all those projects and sidetracks. While the projects have allowed us to slow down and get into a new rhythm and have literally been our sanity, now that rhythm is changing again. And as so many planets either prepare to go retrograde, are retrograde, or are shifting into direct motion, we are being asked to adjust again. But this time, you are being asked to go deeper. In life, no matter what you want or think you need, the universe will continue to ask you to go deeper. There is a universal coaxing to help us improve, grow, and evolve. The Moon and Neptune opposition intends to destabilize things and make us take care of things that are necessary and essential. Details matter, subtlety matters, integrity matters, kindness matters. All of those things are important as we move forward. The Sun, semi-sextile Venus today, and this can lead to feeling as if you want one thing, but you think you should be doing something else. So try to not let this get yourself pulled off course. You are being pulled in more than one direction, and you're not wrong. And the result is indecision and tension. Take a break. Go for a walk. Get some exercise. Take some stress off in a way that works for you. Okay, I didn't do a quote for today because I kind of got into a thought and a story for my blog. A little while ago, while I was hiking along the coast of Mendocino, and there is a bowl over by the coast that is less familiar to a lot of people because it's kind of in a strange place and it's not an easy place to stop on the road. But it is next to and right on a place that is where an older graveyard is, and you have to walk through the graveyard to connect to the trail. As I did that, instantly I felt something that made me feel as if I should be on high alert. The dead always have an electrical feeling on my body. They suck out all the air out of the space, and you can feel a type of gasping in your chest as you attempt to breathe. There was this feeling that a female had frustration that people were walking over her grave. Notice that I said her. Instantly I slowed down and I tried to look where I was walking. All the gravestones were from the late 1800s, and it was going to be practically impossible to not step on a grave in this area to get through this small and compact graveyard. I shifted my energy towards reverence, honor, and respect. I spoke kindly in my mind and gently to the souls buried there. I honored them for their courage and bravery to be in this place in a very rough and tough time. At that point in the mid to 1800s, late 1800s, this was a rugged coastline, and most of the people were lumberjacks or associated with the lumber milling going on in the area, but also fishing was big. But these were souls that had hard lives in an amazing and yet beautiful place. I told them that they had picked a beautiful place to be buried, next to the ocean, where this bowl was formed by water going into a weak area of the ground, and that was slowly over time pulling the earth out and taking it out into the ocean. I feel like in this moment I should tell everybody that I have this documented, really weird, strange body. Not like that's sort of surprising to anybody being a psychic, but there are things that are very different about my physical container than other people, but I believe that I designed it specifically to be able to do my job and to notice and feel subtle energy. And I have twice the nerves in my body that I'm supposed to have, which makes perfect sense for me being able to perceive the many subtle energies that surround all of us. And I notice things that other people just don't notice. I notice nature deities, animals hiding in the brush, spirits walking around, end of the dead. I honestly try to ignore some things that are not necessary for my job or my well-being. And I also have my own guides that intend to protect me when necessary. And they do a stellar job repeatedly. I've been saved so many times by all sorts of things because of my amazingly powerful guides. Because of all these traits, I do realize that others don't have the same skill, nor do I expect them to notice the same things that I do. And I have an engineering and scientific mind that has spent this life doing types of tests for checks and balances so I can recognize the various subtleties in the messages coming in and make sure that I can be as accurate as possible for clients. And like I said, I'm human, I make mistakes all the time, but I constantly try to do a consciousness check and improve on the game. So with this dead thing in the walking through the graveyard and noticing those things, it got me to thinking, that there is a presence that is life that continues past this reality. And each of us are energy. And energy just changes forms, but it always remains. I mean, they scientifically know this. Evil and darkness also has a specific vibration and feeling. Evil that infects people either temporarily or on a longer basis also has a specific frequency and feeling. You can also sense those whose particular peculiarities and beliefs make them susceptible to being deceived. There are moments such as this, and for anyone that is sensitive, and there are many of you out there, that are noticing so much on so many levels that it becomes energetically overwhelming. And when things hit a critical threshold, it can zap you to the point of collapse. Now, astrologically, I'm going to blame a lot of things, but I'm going to blame Neptune and Pisces. I mean, we are consciously, intentionally being deepened. We are being asked, all of us are being asked to be out of our left brain and into our right brain, and to learn to have a better right brain, left brain balance, because I think you need to have a system of checks and balances, because your mind goes, oh, well, that person sounds really cool. They're saying things that I want to hear, but then there's something in your gut that goes like that. And you have to recognize and be able to work with both of those. The energy happening in this world at the moment is greater than anything I have ever encountered in my life. And I have been training and strengthening my psychic muscles my whole life. There is no way that I can ignore the strongest wave of darkness that I have ever encountered in this lifetime. And every psychic intuitive that has done their inner work is in the same position. I mean, we'll all talk and we all agree, right? And even people that are not psychics but have natural sensitivity are like, what is this, Suzanne? And I'm like, yeah. So I have sorted so much energy in my life from all sorts of places and forms, and I am very clear what is darkness and what is light. The only way you can have such clear discernment is to have embraced both your light and your dark sides first. Only through full integration can you actually recognize both. If you have not really navigated your own inner darkness, you will not be able to see the darkness in others. So it's sort of like if you are self-blind to a particular place in your psyche, you will not detect that same darkness in someone else. There you go. Okay, thanks everybody. Bye.